Here we are in Toronto with Derrick James, the trainer of Errol Spence Jr., who will be fighting on Spike TV live on Friday night. And I was talking to Errol a moment ago, and the way that he got into boxing when he was a kid is that the barbershop in town had the hookup for Lennox Lewis pay-per-view fights, and now Lennox is the one putting the card on here on Friday.
That's pretty funny because, yeah, the story was always told his father was a great fan of Lennox, and now you see that when I saw the promotions, I said, hey, Lennox Lewis is going to be at the fight, and I told his father. So it's like for his son to grow and evolve into the great fighter that he is, and to be on the fight card to be promoted by their inspiration is a great thing. It's a great feat.
And he gets to obviously apply his talents here in the country of Canada, where we haven't seen him fight live quite yet. Have you guys been in town now for a couple of days, kind of getting acclimated with the atmosphere?
Well, yes, we got here yesterday, and we've been out. We went to my friend Chris Johnson's gym out. I don't know the name of it, but it's in
Mississauga, yeah.
Mississauga. And then, so we've been getting a little acclimated, and we love the city. Everything is growing. It's beautiful, and the people are really nice.
He's going to be taking on Chris Van Heerden, who might be the toughest fighter that he's faced yet in his pro career. And I think, trainers always talk about this, but as you're coming up, you face a lot of guys who sort of have that opponent mentality. But Chris Van Heerden isn't that guy. He's still a guy who is very much thinking that he's a contender. Is it different preparing a fighter for a guy that is definitely going to be in there with a winning mentality?
Well, I believe that most of the guys, if not all of the guys Errol have fought, have had that mentality. And we spar with guys who have that same mentality, that they want to come in and prove to Errol and myself that they're better than he is. So with Chris Van Heerden, we're accustomed to seeing a guy like this, and that's the type of guy I believe that may bring the greatness out of Errol and show that how great he really is, because nobody actually has seen what you all say you all like. It's only a smidget of really how great he really is, how really good he is, and we see it in the gym every day. So what you all will see, if Van Heerden is tough enough and strong enough to endure, is a greater and a better Errol Spence Jr.
Now, what is your scouting report on Van Heerden? Because he's faced some tough opposition as well, coming up guys like Kaiser Mabuza and coming out of South Africa. What is your scouting report on him, especially as a southpaw facing Errol?
Well, I've watched him, and I think he's a tough guy. He's a pressure fighter. He throws a lot of punches, and he's a guy who's been able to endure and to be tough with guys that he's been faced against. So he's one of the most skilled fighters that Errol probably would be facing, and vice versa, because most guys have names. This guy has skills. That's why you see Floyd Mayweather all over this guy. And he's not promoted by Floyd, and you never see him talk about his fighters the way he talks about this guy, because he's been in the ring with him. He's seen his skill set. He's seen his development as a fighter, and so he knows that this, there's levels for him to go to, and he's doing great.
Now, a lot of guys, when they watch Spence for the first time, a lot of people have been introduced to him since PBC started. They're particularly impressed with how well he goes to the body. Is that something that you instilled in him from a young age?
Well, from the start, even in amateur boxers, he was a great, phenomenal body puncher. He understood that, and one of the things that you see in boxing, you don't see jabs, or you don't see these things that you can set up a great body shot. And once we get on the inside, I always thought to myself that in preparing a fighter is to make him a better inside fighter than he is an outside fighter, and vice versa, a better outside fighter than he is an inside fighter. So most people, when you get to the inside, most fighters don't know what to do. When he gets to the inside, he knows exactly what to do. He's a phenomenal body puncher, and he knows how. I'm going to tell you something. In preparing for this fight, he bruised 3 guys' ribs and fractured 2 guys' noses. So
tell him everything.
I'm not telling him everything. There's a body count right here. So he's a body puncher, basically what I'm saying. I'm not going into detail of depth.
Well, tell me this, though. When I was talking to Errol a couple of years ago, I asked him about the sparring for this fight, but he told me you guys used to spar in the ring as well. Do you still lace him up and get in there with him?
Nah, man, I stopped. My trainer told me to stop sparring with him. He said, just stop, because you're here for his development, not to whatever, so it's all about making him feel highly about us having great. And so, yeah, we sparred. When he first started boxing, we sparred when he was like 15 years old. Then I never had a conversation with him. When I started training him, it was things that he was doing that I wanted him to get better at. So it was nobody else who could counterpunch him or make him react in the way that I want him to, so I started sparring with him. And that helped his defense, that helped his counterpunching ability, and that helped him grow mentally as a fighter. So that's exactly what we needed as an old school boxer to come in with the new school and kind of be able to do it. So I still work out to stay fit, because one day we may have to get back in there.
Yeah. Well, looking ahead then, and I asked Errol about this as well, but a lot of people have been talking about the possibility of a fight with Keith Thurman down the road. And Keith said, I don't think that he deserves a fight with me next. What are your opinions on that? Do you think he's ready for Keith Thurman right now? And would you guys want that fight next if that were offered to you?
Well, I have no doubt in my mind that he's not ready. We're not even thinking about him, because we're not going to talk. If Errol doesn't talk about it, I don't talk about it. I don't want the fight that he doesn't want. I believe in this is his career, so whoever he wants to fight is who I want him to fight. So when he gets the call, that's when we'll start thinking about that guy. Because the reality of it is, if you look at boxing deep, not about the punches and knockouts, but look at the skill set and look at the other guy's skill set. There's no competition. There's no comparison. He has no defense. So I'm not going to get into it. What I'm just going to say is that when that fight call comes, you'll see.
All right. Well, he looks ready. He sounds ready. We're looking forward to seeing him in the ring here in Canada on Friday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you'll come out and see a great show. Thank you.